Jeu. Et deuxième manche, Tsitsipas.
This is Stefanos Tsitsipas, a Greek tennis player who had just taken the second set off Novak Djokovic at the 2021 Roland Garros final. Unfortunately for Tsitsipas, he would lose the final in 5 sets after Djokovic kept himself in the game. But at the time, Tsitsipas received lots of praise and there was hope that he could be one of the next-gen players to finally win a Grand Slam. But instead, we witnessed one of the strangest and yet most frustrating declines of a tennis player in recent years. In this video, I will discuss how Stefanos Tsitsipas, a once promising Greek prodigy who established himself as a top-of-the-league competitor, has gradually fallen off and gotten exposed as a tennis player. First, it's important to discuss Tsitsipas' background as a tennis player. Tsitsipas was born in Athens, Greece to his mother Julia and father Apostolos, who would become a prominent figure in his life. Tsitsipas started playing tennis at the age of 3 and eventually worked his way up to become the #1 junior tennis player in the world, winning the 2016 boys doubles tournament at Wimbledon with Estonian player Kenneth Reisma. He turned pro shortly afterwards and managed to make a Masters final in 2018 after defeating Dominic Thiem, Novak Djokovic, Alexander Zverev, and Kevin Anderson all in a row, who were each top 10 players at the time. Tsitsipas had an excellent 2019 season, defeating Roger Federer at the Australian Open, breaking into the top 10 for the first time, and winning 3 titles, one of which was the ATP Finals at the end of the year. Tsitsipas consistently stayed in the top 10 and even the top 5, putting himself up there as one of the best current tennis players on tour. In 2021, Tsitsipas had an excellent clay season, winning his first Masters title at Monte Carlo and reaching the Barcelona Open final where he just barely lost to Nadal. At Roland Garros, Tsitsipas reached the finals and had a chance to defeat Djokovic, but ultimately lost in 5 sets after having a 2-set lead. From this point on, Tsitsipas wasn't his same self. Although he still did well at various times, like when he defended his Monte Carlo title in 2022, won his first grass court title in Mallorca, and reached the Australian Open final in 2023, besides those few tournaments, Tsitsipas has been on the other side of numerous shocking upsets. This includes losing to Daniel Galan in the 2022 US Open first round, which included losing the first 2 sets 6-0 and 6-1, Jordan Thompson in the 2023 Indian Wells first round, Dominik Stricker in the 2023 US Open second round, and most recently Denis Shapovalov, who was once regarded as the future of Canadian tennis but dropped out of the top 100 at the 2024 Miami Open first round. Despite showing impressive results early on in his career, Tsitsipas has a combined 27-43 record against Novak Djokovic, Daniil Medvedev, Alexander Zverev, Casper Ruud, Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, Holger Rune, and Andrei Rublev, who are the top 8 players at the time of this video. Although this isn't terrible for a consistent top 5 to 10 player like Tsitsipas, it is worth noting that he only has winning records over Zverev, Sinner, and Rublev, and from 2022 onwards, Tsitsipas has a staggering 10-21 record against those same 8 players, which include not recording a single win against Djokovic, Ruud, Alcaraz, or Rune. So what happened to Tsitsipas that led to more upsets, a lower win rate against the top guys, and ultimately dropping out of the top 10? Well, there wasn't a particular event that started Tsitsipas' decline. Instead, there were multiple factors regarding both Tsitsipas' physical game as well as his mental fortitude. First, let's talk about the problems of Tsitsipas' actual tennis. When he first rose on tour, many tennis fans praised Tsitsipas for his aesthetically pleasing game, as he had an appealing one-hand backhand, a shot that is currently dying in today's version of the game. Although it was solid in the first half of his career, opponents have been finding ways to expose it, similar to how Rafael Nadal accumulated so many wins against Roger Federer by constantly targeting the ball to his backhand. Tsitsipas often struggles to take the ball on the rise, so many times if players hit high, deep, loopy shots to his backhand, Tsitsipas' only solution is to back up and hit the ball at a position where he has less control and depth. As a result, players who excel at utilizing the drop shot, such as Carlos Alcaraz, can effectively win points against Tsitsipas by moving him further back on his backhand and thus creating more space to finish the point. Additionally, Tsitsipas does not have a particularly strong serve, and just this year, Tsitsipas temporarily switched to a pinpoint stance on his serve. However, in the Miami Open, he reverted back to the platform stance, so it is unsure what Tsitsipas will attempt to do next to try and improve his serve. However, these two parts of his game have been an issue for a relatively long time now, and unfortunately there haven't been many improvements along the way. Although these issues could technically be fixed, there are other problems that could permanently reside with Tsitsipas that prevent him from reaching the next level: his antics and demeanor. There are actually many things we could point out from this, but first, let's talk about his infamous bathroom break controversy. In 2021, Tsitsipas began taking toilet breaks consistently in his matches, notably to try and slow down the rhythm of his opponents when he was losing. Players didn't make a big deal out of it at first, but at the 2021 Cincinnati Open, Zverev was the first player to publicly complain about it in his match against Tsitsipas after Tsitsipas took an extended toilet break. Things got even worse at the 2021 US Open when three-time Grand Slam champ Andy Murray voiced his frustration during his 5-set loss against Tsitsipas, where Tsitsipas had taken a toilet break twice in pivotal moments. Murray stated that he lost all respect for Tsitsipas, and this really put Tsitsipas on notice for his poor antics all across the tennis world. Fast forward to the 2022 Wimbledon Championships. Tsitsipas played Nick Kyrgios, who is widely known as tennis's bad boy, in the third round. However, it wasn't Kyrgios that caused problems. It was actually Tsitsipas. After losing a tight second set, Tsitsipas smacked the ball directly into the crowd that nearly hit a person's head. And after receiving no violation for it, Kyrgios kept vowing to the umpire that he should be disqualified for his actions. Although it could be argued that Kyrgios continued to instigate the problem, Tsitsipas did not do a good job of moving on, as he started targeting Kyrgios throughout the rest of the match, and he hit another ball into the crowd in the third set. Kyrgios won that match in 4 sets, and the result was the loss of respect between both players, who previously had a good friendship. Another important issue with Tsitsipas is his coach and father Apostolos. At around the same time as his toilet break controversy, Tsitsipas also dealt with multiple coaching violations throughout his matches, and players were even calling him out for illegally receiving coaching mid-match. For example, in his semifinal match at the 2022 Australian Open against Medvedev, Tsitsipas received a coaching violation shortly after Medvedev screamed at the umpire that Apostolos was coaching him earlier in the match. Tsitsipas went on to lose the match in straight sets, as that was his third coaching violation in the entire tournament. There were other instances of poor sportsmanship from Apostolos, as in the 2023 Australian Open ceremony, he refused to stand up or clap during Tsitsipas and Djokovic's speeches. Shockingly enough, despite their long-time close relationship, Tsitsipas parted ways with his father last summer after there were disputes going on during practice, and he replaced him with former Grand Slam champion Mark Philippoussis. Only 2 months later, however, Tsitsipas would get rid of Philippoussis and bring back Apostolos to be his main coach. Many analysts and tennis fans believe Apostolos could be holding Tsitsipas back from reaching his full potential, but it seems like Tsitsipas is imminent on keeping Apostolos on the team and by his side. There are more issues with Tsitsipas, such as his snobby attitude towards ball kids, umpires, and players that make him not as liked as other tennis players, or his recent relationship with WTA star Paulo Badoza, in which many people claim is a distraction for Tsitsipas, but the ones I described are more likely to be prominent and impactful in his downfall. Now, is it fair to label Tsitsipas a tennis bust? No. As a matter of fact, Tsitsipas is only 25 years old, and he still has plenty of time to win Grand Slams and get back into the top 5 to 10 rankings. After all, he is ranked at number 11 at the time of this upload, so he could definitely still redeem himself. He will have to make some changes to his overall game and attitude, but a very memorable career is still possible for the Greek player. Do you guys think he will bounce back, or do you think he will continue to pan out? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.